I really feel at home here. So yes, I am a Newfoundlander, and all the people I have met who have come here for X reason, studies, work, they also feel like Newfoundlanders now. It is true. We feel at home. My name is Mariana Castro Carvajal. I was born in Mexico City and I grew up there up until 2016 when I moved to Brandon, Manitoba to finish my bachelor in music. After that, I came here to study my master's in ethnomusicology. I finished in 2021 and then I decided to stay because I got a job, a very fun job that I keep doing. I work at MusicNL, that's the Music Industry Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. I started first as an intern. They needed help with some research they were doing in diversity with the membership of MusicNL. So the ANC, the Association for New Canadians, they did a very thorough research and discovered that MusicNL was not very diverse in their membership. At that time, they had 500 members and they only had like 7 newcomer members. And of course, there were more immigrant musicians, myself included, and I was already here and I was not a member of MusicNL, and I actually didn't know what was MusicNL. So at first I came as an intern to help them delve into those results and help them create strategies and ways to connect with the newcomer population in St. John's. And then that same year in 2021, I became the first connector program coordinator. It is a networking initiative in which newcomer musician comes to MusicNL and obviously they do not know the community nor the venues or other musicians, and then we try to connect them with people that can help them start their careers. And right now I am the new program coordinator at MusicNL. So I moved from diversity and inclusion work to funding. So fun stuff. Now I do a lot of math. Basically what MusicNL mainly does is provide funding for any type of project that musicians can work with. So we have funding for recording albums, to make tours around Newfoundland or even outside of Newfoundland and Canada. And there's also funding for any type of showcase that musicians would like to make. We want to help musicians, and now I'm helping them by providing them all the information that they might need with funding. My main job when I started at MusicNL was literally hanging out with people. I would go to farmers market and also to any type of event that Tombolo Multicultural Festival or the multicultural women's organizations would create. I literally would stalk people. And I would, if they looked like musicians or if I heard them sing, I was like, what? Oh, so you're a musician. Are you interested in joining MusicNL? It was a lot of outreach, basically. That was my job. And trying to get ideas on how can we put these musicians, how do we get them from not playing to performing? And that's when we created the Global Music Series. It happens every single August and it's in the evenings of Wednesdays. This year is going to be our 3rd year doing it. The first time that we did it, I think that we only had 3 dates and we only had 9 musicians on it. Last year we had 5 dates and we had over 20 musicians. And I cannot wait what numbers we're gonna get of interested musicians this year. It's awesome how these musicians are taking the heart of many Newfoundlanders and sharing their stories and obviously their music with them. They are thriving right now. I absolutely love Newfoundland. For me, the nature and the landscape is just breathtaking. That's one of the first things that I would say made me stay here. When I arrived in 2018, there was one time just before the semester started, I went up Signal Hill and it was beautiful. I saw the whole city and there was not a cloud in the sky, and it was so fresh, and I absolutely loved that memory, and I keep not forgetting that. And I felt so, I don't know, accepted by the city, because the harbor is like this weird semicircle, so I almost thought that that the harbor was hugging me. I remember that moment that I thought to myself, I think I'm gonna stay here, and now I cannot go back. Oh no. Yeah, Newfoundlanders are such a warm people. I felt immediately welcomed. And obviously, as a musician, I enjoy the music scene here. I felt that I kind of arrived into my place, because every single time that I wanted to go out, there were many things to do, many things to hear. Also because of my job, I get to meet a lot of musicians, hear a lot of music. That's just the best part of Newfoundland for me. It's such a, I don't know, musical city. You can always hear something, and I love the sea as well, so everything combines together, the nature and the music, and also like the lovely people that I have met here. Newfoundland it's just like a warm hug every single time that I go out. I feel welcomed. I am a musician by trade. I studied piano for almost 10 years, and I also sing. I started to sing at the church, and currently that's where I am a musician. Most of the time I play at the church here in several other parishes in St. John's. As an artist, and since I'm working with a lot of artists, I think that the challenge in Newfoundland is that right now there is no way that these talented musicians can live off their music. It might sound silly that I say that, because I know that a lot of musicians struggle. But the problem here is that all these people have come to Newfoundland and Labrador, and they want to stay here. And they cannot stay as musicians. They have to take up other jobs. And honestly, a lot of people have put aside the music altogether, and they haven't come back to it. In the year that I was working outreaching to musicians with MusicNL, I met a lot of musicians who literally hadn't played a lot in a long time, but they are still here, and they still want to share their music, share the full cultural richness of their music, and they cannot. These musicians have a lot of richness. They have a lot to offer. As I was saying, like, this place is so beautiful. It is breathtaking. Like, whenever you go outside a little bit, even if it's windy and if it's like foggy and all that stuff, you kind of want to express it with any type of art. In the ideal world, you should be able to do that. You should be able to express your experience of living in Newfoundland and Labrador through art, or through whatever form you want to express it. And you should be paid, and that should be considered a full-time job. It is a full-time job. And as of now, there is no easy pathway for these musicians or artists to stay here. And one of the things also that I've noticed that it's always a challenge is the access to resources. Many resources are limited only to Canadians, permanent residents, refugees even, but the temporary workers are left behind. That is not fair. I don't see how that is helping immigration or student retention in the province. And definitely it's something that affects musicians directly, because as of, I don't know, 1 or 2 years, MusicNL had a policy that did not allow us to fund any type of project for newcomers. Like, they couldn't apply for our funding. That was just like a very silly rule that we had, and we checked with people, and they didn't even have a good reason for having that rule there, so we took it out. It took the other funding associations a couple of months to catch up with us, because they also had the same rule. And it doesn't have any sense, because these people are here, they are contributing to the society with art, with sharing their culture, and putting the name of Newfoundland and Labrador very, very high. You know, a lot of the musicians I've been working with now, they are nominated to ECMAs, to the East Coast Music Awards. That is huge. that is like a win for the whole province. I wish that the work that this musician was enough to prove that this is a way of livelihood that could be taken seriously. We've been working with the provincial immigration office. We've been trying to find ways to, evade all those barriers, but the solution is that those barriers are taken down, because we cannot keep, playing zigzag around these people's lives, because it's their life, and it is a matter of justice that they get the respect, the recognition, and the celebration that they are here. If there's people that hear the music of these newcomer musicians, that it will be very helpful for them, for my job, and for the whole community, that you try to support them. And the way to do that is try to find them in the venues, follow them in Instagram and all their social media platforms. That helps them a lot. And go listen to their music. It's awesome. These musicians, they are coming here and they want to belong. So I think that we can help them to belong more. We can make the place more feel like home.